It's been about 1.5 months since Governor Herbert announced to you were his selection as Lieutenant Governor. What has the ride been like since that time?
Well, in Star Wars terms, it's been a warp. It's been quite a run. Of course, the excitement and surprise at being selected really changes your life. I was practicing law and a member of a part-time legislature, and Governor Herbert asked me to be his lieutenant governor. And he was already underway. Of course, his life had changed very dramatically by reason of Governor Huntsman taking the ambassadorial assignment. So I wasn't looking for it, didn't anticipate it, and it was quite a change for me.
That's great, and we can tell you're excited about this new responsibility. Part of that past experience, you were chairman of Envision Utah. Mm-hmm. Now with that comes a unique perspective about this state. What does Utah mean to you?
That's interesting you ask, because Envision Utah did a lot of polling when it first started to find out. We knew we had a great state, we knew people loved to live in Utah, but we wanted to identify specifically what were the values that people treasured so much. And it really came down to two things. And one was the sense of place, the beautiful physical environment, the unmatched blue skies that you have in the Uintah Basin. I mean, these are just splendid skies, vistas, views, the mountains, the red rock, the white rock, in different places in our state. It's just unmatched, and people really take a lot from the environment. I heard a prize-winning artist the other night say that painting Utah's landscape released something in him. He said, it's not just that you paint something pretty, it literally released something in him. And I think Utahns are like that. They connect it. The second thing was that people feel secure here. They feel secure for a lot of reasons. Secure from crime, secure in their families, secure in the sense of being in control of where they live and the kind of culture they have, that they're not victims, that they can control their destiny in a lot of ways. So Envision Utah, and of course Utah broadly, associates the great things with Utah because of that and other values.
We're sitting in the new USU-UBATC building, and these folks are really excited about responsible energy and developing new ways to harness that energy and use it. How do you feel about that?
Well, I commend them, because it's a brave new world, both politically and in reality. We're just not going to be able to move forward with fossil fuel technology as we have. We can't do same old, same old. We've got to reinvent the way we live and the way we function. And it's not that we retrench and go back to caves and candles, but rather we're going to sustain our society and our economy, but we've got to do it in new and efficient ways, and mostly that comes down to energy questions.
With your work as a lawyer and real estate developer, you're recognized throughout the state really as a premier real estate attorney. Now, obviously in this part of the state, Roosevelt, Vernal, Duchesne, real estate market has really had a hard time. What do you say about the real estate market here and also in Utah with the rest of the state with your experience?
Everyone's been hit hard. We haven't been hit as hard as Florida, California, Phoenix, Las Vegas has, thank goodness. But you've had a boom out here, and that's just kind of the nature of extractive industries. You've had a boom. You tried to be careful, and I say you, I mean the area. But there's just a natural run-up when there are no vacancies in motels and homes and rentals are full. That's what makes developers salivate and develop. But it's going to be a little while, unfortunately, before the housing comes back, because we have a lot of inventory. We have high new standards of getting loans. It's difficult to get home loans. So there's some unemployment for people to qualify. The overtime's gone away. The bonuses aren't as plentiful. the stock market income, ancillary income. So it's harder to qualify for people to buy a home, but we are going to come back. We've got a good federal program of $8,000 for first-time home buyers, and we've got $4,000 the second phase of Home Run for the buyers of a new home. That's a $12,000 credit towards buying a home, and that's a great down payment. That's stimulated quite a bit of activity, and it can do some more.
I have just two more questions, and the first one is, there's a lot of controversy out here with what's happened with drilling and many people losing their jobs. I talked with Irene Hansen earlier of the Duchesne Chamber of Commerce. You were there earlier today, and she talked about how you're really an empathetic person. She felt that as you spoke today. One of the biggest issues here is the Harrisons flying to Washington, D.C. on their own expense, being denied a meeting with Deputy Secretary Hayes. The Harrisons had hundreds of letters from Uintah Basin residents appealing to emotion, primarily. What do you say to people in that situation?
Well, that's a difficult personal circumstance. I don't know exactly what the appointment was, and based on the newspaper account, it's not pretty, and I'm sorry for that. That's a disappointing experience. But from the administration standpoint, we have got to be respectful. This is the administration. They've been elected. They're the people we deal with. They have a philosophy. We need to talk to them. We need to engage them. Governor Herbert has pledged that one of his main planks is energy development. And so we're going to have a dialogue with Secretary Salazar, and I hope with Undersecretary Hayes and other folks in BLM, because we just have to talk. We have to move forward. This area in the state of Utah has too much energy, gas, alternative, and oil to just let things stay as they are. So these are good people. We can deal with them on some level, and we're going to use our congressional delegation. But we're also going to be back there knocking on doors and getting explanations of what's happening and see if we can push the RMPs and come to some closure on things that really ought to move forward.
And my last question, you've had great educational experience in this state, BA from Weber State University and GAD from the University of Utah Law School. And with the recent controversy or not over President Obama's speech to kids to stay in school and the other points he made, what kind of value do you place on education?
Really, education is the platform for whatever success I've achieved. My degree in political science and English was just a first-class education, very enjoyable, very stimulating, enabled me to go to law school, and law school provided me the opportunity for a great job right out of school. Struggled and bought a home and increased my practice and worked and worked and worked and got clients and made me many associations and friends and opened up economic opportunities that I otherwise definitely could not have enjoyed. And ultimately I've been in politics, and now I'm having experiences and have a job that are just tremendously rewarding. So my word to those, both students and those who maybe missed the whole experience and want to go back, the non-traditional students, that they ought to look at certificates in the ATCs, completing their high school education, moving on to college or technical school, and it's just worth it. My children have great educations, mostly in the state of Utah, and it's a great platform for developing personal success.
Well, thank you very much for your time, Lieutenant Governor Bell. We look forward to the service.
Pleasure. Thank you. Boy, you're well researched.